Davey Grant gets a gigantic victory over Raphael Assuncao. Maybe it's not gigantic, I don't know, but the way he got it done was epic, to say the least. And look, he should have been deducted a point. I say that as a gigantic Davey Grant fan. He grabbed the fence, he should have been deducted a point, and he was. But to have that happen with a minute left, that's incredibly difficult. Those are incredibly difficult circumstances, especially in that fight, because that fight was really close. You could make the argument Assuncao won both rounds. Assuncao was doing very well. But, man, that point deduction lit a fire under Davey Grant's ass. The fight was stood up, I should say, which, you know, you could argue that Davey Grant, or Assuncao would have been better with Davey Grant on top of him, but the ref's thought process was explained clearly. I don't want to reward him for grabbing the fence, so he went with the neutral position. It did happen to work out for Davey Grant, but the way it worked out for him was still exceptional. This was, you know, Davey Grant should be applauded for his last-minute effort there. You know, again, despite the fence grab, because many guys have been in that position, and they pour it on, they're trying, and nothing really comes of it. Davey Grant poured it on, and he knocked Assuncao down with a spinning back fist after beating him up with some big punches, and then beat him up with some elbows against the cage, and then choked him out with an inverted triangle choke. All in like 30 seconds or whatever. It was fucking incredible. He snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, and I'm really happy about that, because I always liked Davey Grant. I've been a big fan of his. I've been a fan of Assuncao's too, and it was tough watching him lose that way, especially his retirement fight. But Assuncao, knowing he was going to retire and Davey Grant isn't, I'm glad the guy with the future got the victory. But for Assuncao, you know, look, this is the end of his career. He did retire afterwards. He goes down as one of the most underrated fighters of all time and one of the best fighters of his generation in his weight class. Absolutely one of the best fighters of his generation in his weight class. This guy's beaten half of the last 6 champions or whatever. Don't quote me on that. But, you know, he's beaten plenty of excellent fighters. And he's a guy that's always been a very difficult stylistic matchup. Very few guys are able to really dominate Raphael Assuncao. He's just one of the best neutralizers. Really, overall, very versatile fighter. Skilled everywhere and a problem everywhere. And he went down... you know, and he fought like that till the very end of his career. Even in this fight against Davey Grant, like I said, you could argue Davey Grant was down 2 rounds and Assuncao was winning. Assuncao was very competitive here, but in the end, he was just too old. And, you know, make no mistake about it, that last-minute finish there, it's as much attributable to Assuncao's age as it is to Davey Grant's fire that was lit under his ass and everything else. So, Assuncao, this is it for him. This was his swan song. It was still a very dramatic and very exciting fight. And a great performance, too, despite getting finished in the 15th minute. And, of course, there's controversy. Even though I thought everything was done fairly, I thought Davey Grant should have been deducted a point. I thought the fight should have been restarted. But I understand Assuncao and his team fucking hating the way that went down. And it sucks for him to have to retire like that. But... again, he's retiring. Davey Grant isn't. And Davey Grant, I'm happy that he turned things around in that final dramatic minute, because he's the guy moving forward and now he gets momentum. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit. Check out my other videos.